Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? Dan Tom here, host of the Protect Your Neck podcast, analyst for MMA Junkie, as well as places like Action Network. May start off a little choppy at first, but we'll smooth out, especially if you're hearing the edited versions in the future. I'll throw audio up on podcast feeds. It won't count for an episode, but this is an alternate commentary. We are back. I say we because it's been the same team. It's just been fun, man. So having my guy Ant Walker here at Ant Walker MMA, as you see on the screen next to me. What's up, Ant?
I'm good, man. Dan, how you been?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. It's been crazy, with the schedule. We were talking about. I will be interested to see these numbers on how this pay-per-view goes. But this feels like Canadians and hardcore's only affair, I suspect. So, what's up to the audience and stuff that's already in the house in the chat?
Yeah, shout out to everybody who is jazzed about this card because this was one that seemed to sneak up on a lot of us. Definitely me. Like I had it not been for your DM, asking if I was going to be ready for this weekend, I wouldn't have realized this was a pay-per-view coming up. Like this is kind of flown under the radar. I mean, right now we've got Teofimo Lopez fighting right now on ESPN. So
Yeah.
you got ESPN sort of counter programming themselves at the moment. And the names on this card aren't exactly what you'd expect from something that's going to cost you about $90 after taxes. Like I don't know what the target is for what this pay-per-view is going to sell, but I mean, we're here to talk about it, and we've got the greatest female mixed martial artist of all time at the top, so it's worth talking about.
We're here and we're family. Sorry to quote the terrible franchises that me and my girl may or may not have watched recently. Uh, but yeah, as per usual, guys, of course, this is alternate commentary. Um, we're doing it for reps and whatnot, but we're also, especially with me and Ann, we're talking, especially cards like these. We're also really trying to, remind ourselves and you guys that, we can still have fun doing this. So, we're just going to be in the house having fun. I see my guy Jimmy Kudo, moderator in the house. We got the army up in here sizing up, Ant. So I love it. My guy Ghost Phantom, speaking of which, also recent moderator duties. Of course, we got Mark Fellows, MMA podcast aficionado, friend to all, as he should be. He is the man in the house. We got Synchro Wing. He says, hello, been listening to Jack Slack while these fights have been going on. Since the commentary is unbearable. Well, hopefully we aren't unbearable, but that's why we're here, right, Ant? Just at least again, alternate. We're not claiming to be better, the best. We're just here to have fun with you guys and get some reps in ourselves.
Of course, just something different. I'm always curious what the booth is going to look like, especially when they go out of the United States. Joe Rogan doesn't make those trips outside the U.S., so we got Paul Felder in for him tonight. I would have liked to see Laura Sanko get the opportunity. The more Laura Sanko we can have on the broadcast, I'm all for. I think she's absolutely A1. But, meantime, you got us. So you can't be too mad, right? Like,
Hey, yeah, exactly. I hope they give Senko more reps too. And you know what? Say what you will, silver lining to the crazy breakneck schedule, Ant. But maybe by default, she will get her chance. She deserves to, by the way. I think she does. But by default, perhaps she'll get her chance to call a pay-per-view because there's just so many of these dang things. And again, whether it's people that are complaining or people that are defending, the billionaires in the UFC, very few people shout the people that actually work for the UFC and have to like deal with the schedule. It's a lot for everybody to deal with. So hopefully they spread it around, the love around, and no one gets overworked.
yeah, maybe they'll just like set up a cot for or something at the Apex Center. I mean, that's essentially what the UFC is their home base. So yeah, maybe they should have like little dorm rooms and stuff for everybody because I can't imagine that they're getting a whole lot of sleep.
Yeah, it was funny. I was by the strip today, and I'm so used to fights being here in Vegas, and I was like, oh, I don't want to avoid traffic. Oh, isn't there? And I'm bad about following other sports. Um, but I'm like, is there a Knights game? Isn't there a Knights game? I'm like, okay, it's in Florida. I'm like checking, because I hate driving through traffic if I can avoid it. And yeah, I'm like so used to it at this point. I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh wait, they're not in Vegas. I don't know if you get that effect.
Yeah, it's like the rare time a fight night card isn't in the Apex Center is always sort of a shock to my system. Um this pay per view. I know they're making a big deal about it being in Canada, and the Canadian fans do deserve something. I mean, they're such a loyal fan base, and they haven't gotten a proper card in a very long time. So I get it, but typically if it's outside of Vegas, I kind of don't know because the product always feels and looks the same. So I'm used to seeing the T-Mobile Arena is like the most generic arena, that you can imagine. It just looks like every other NHL slash NBA type
Yeah.
arena in the country. The Apex Center is pretty much just like an auditorium, and we're just kind of used to seeing those same backdrops. So to be anywhere else is a bit of shock to me.
Yeah, absolutely. My guy Rain Lamb in the house. So no shout out to me since I'm not getting a shout out due to how bad UFC 289 is. No, you're getting a shout out, my man. But yeah, you're definitely being heard. Again, peek behind the curtain. That was kind of the topic, if you will, of the conjecture between me and Ant here. But Ant, you just mentioned the T-Mobile Arena. Not only am I offended, not offended, but like I wanted to interview. Back when we were doing Junkie Radio and we would interview like random kind of sports people as well. I'm like, can we get like some kind of CEO for the Golden Knights in? They're missing out on opportunity. I had this idea for a halftime show, and tell me what you think in the chat. But it would have been called Fight the Night, and essentially, like it would have just called like one random audience member. Your ticket gets called, and you get a chance to fight the night. I don't know what you win, but it really doesn't matter because the night will pretty much like you got to sign a waiver with your ticket, so like you're okay to die essentially. I know that's a big caveat here, but let's just overlook it for a second. And you could just imagine some like some college dude bro like getting called up. The spotlight goes on him. His friends are cheering, and he's just like puts his cap on backwards, chugs the rest of his beer, runs down there. They've got like some pseudo armor, and like he could choose his weapon. And they got the mountain motherfucker there just waiting to and like we're back in the Coliseum, like fight the night. And then could you imagine like if you were a hockey fan, like you're like I want to see the Knights play, and like maybe you have a date, you're like this girl's a big Knights fan, but you have to know that there's the risk you might have to fight the Night Ant.
Yeah,
Huh?
you might have to fight him. I
Huh?
mean, I guess that didn't work out too well for the Miami Heat mascot. So I guess if Conor McGregor's wearing a red tracksuit, ice side,
Yes. Oh my
yeah,
god.
don't call that guy out to fight the
Yeah.
night.
Yeah. Connor's on knockout spree on everybody that is not a fighter, right?
Oh man, I swear, like he hit that mascot like he was drinking Jameson. It was really something.
And how could the follow up have been in there? Like the only way you do a follow up is if you're going pro wrestling, and in that case, it's like an elbow drop. Like he's like seriously trying to punch him again.
And in order to hospitalize somebody, I gotta give Connor credit for like having that level of power to hospitalize someone in a mascot suit. I wore the mascot suit in high school a couple times, and let me tell you, those things are so heavily insulated. It takes a lot of force to to actually get through to somebody, and enough force to get through to somebody and then hurt them to the point where they have to go to the hospital. That is impressive. Although, if I'm that mascot, I'm going to the hospital regardless because that lawsuit. Mwah, oh man,
Oh my gosh! Oh my
I,
gosh!
I'm I'm gonna have the lawsuit of the century if that's me.
Oh yeah, I'm totally putting on the acting performance there too. And maybe not to bring up Fast X again, but maybe he watched that where Jason Statham is beating up a guy, which has been used in a lot of movies before. But the gimmick where they're punching the punching bag and there's a guy in the punching bag, maybe he just wanted his shot or something. I don't know.
They had a scene like that in Fast X.
Yeah, yeah, it's like an intro to Jason Statham's character.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
hard
he's
pass on
like,
seeing that movie.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, when they're
I,
like
I'm,
doing kung fu fights on missiles and shit now, I'm like I'm done.
yeah,
I can't do this anymore.
I was reacting to it, and and my girlfriend was like, she was like, "This is what these movies are," and I was like, she's like, "When's the last? Which is the last one you've seen?" I'm like, I think I might have seen Too Fast, Too Furious, but I only really saw the first one when it came out
Yeah,
in
the
theaters. So
first one.
for me, it was a shock. It was a
Yeah,
shock. I was like,
it's
"What
just
is this
totally
shit?"
different. The first movie,
It's
they're
like, "What
they're
is
it's like an
this?"
FBI agent trying to find like bootleg CDs.
Yes, bootleg CDs.
They're trying to find bootleg CDs, and now
So
they're
good.
they're having actual fights in space, and you got The
They're having
Rock
fights in
like
space.
like throwing trucks and
Oh, it's
stuff with
great.
a broken arm. It doesn't make any sense. Like that one scene where he had the broken arm. What I forget which Fast movie it was, like eight, maybe part eight or something like that. And he just rips the cast off and flexes his muscles, and now everything's fine. they have gone so off the rails, man. It's ridiculous. It's like the worst comic book ever. And and it's cool for what it is. Like it's popcorn entertainment. But I
Yes,
mean,
sure, sure.
but good Lord, man. I mean, the guys are like they're like smacking torpedoes from the passenger
Oh
side
yeah,
of a
yeah.
car on a glacier. And come on, we've gone way too far.
Yeah, and the last thing before we move on to the fights is Adam Fugit is walking out. Just the writing was cracking me up though. I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, they couldn't have made Jason Momoa less scary, less of a bad guy, less Brazilian. Was he supposed to be like whatever stereotype they were trying to go for? It was just all like it was the CSI one liners of the redhead guy like tipping his glasses down. Like he spoke exclusively in those lines. Like it was so bad. It was like, oh no, what are you doing? I know he's much more than a pretty face. This guy can actually do some stuff. What's going on? What's
Hmm.
up, chat? We got James Kendrick in the house. What's going on, James? He goes fight night where we call out an audience member. That would be awesome. Oh, I'm missing you guys are having your own conversations. That's good though. We got some talk, some real good bad cinema. That's a good explanation
Yeah,
of that.
that's a good way
Oh
to
no in the
explain it,
chat.
man.
Yes, yes, really
I'm
good bad
reminded of
cinema.
our Scarface conversation. Like that's it's good bad entertainment.
Yes, yes, yes. It's a great call back there. Makato Kayagoku, I agree. Laura is great. She should be getting more opportunities, and she is great with good on the road to UFC. Yeah, yeah. Gooden surprisingly makes a good pairing with a lot of people. One time we got Gooden with
Hmm.
DC in Brazil, and it was low key one of my favorites. All right, folks, we're going to be just a heads up as per usual. We will be purposefully a few seconds behind, both so that me and Ant can sync, both so that we have buffer room as well as hey, the benefit is not spoilers. If you guys are looking for the really the liveliest of live optimization, well, you're not going to quite get that. But the good news is again, we won't be doing the Rogan and spoiling the KOs or whatever before they get there. So as long as you guys are cool with that, feel free to submit your scores. It's all laid back, but we will be locked in and doing our thing, watching the fights and commentating. So we won't be seeing your guys' chats until uh, between
Yeah,
rounds and after. But we'll go to your guys' scores because we can't really. Not that we can't. I mean, Ant, feel free to score if you want, man. Obviously,
I
but
probably
like,
won't. Yep.
yeah,
It's just a bit too much
calling the fights
mentally
is
to.
hard enough. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll lean on you guys. You guys feel free to put in your scores, and that's how we'll keep this a nice, fun team effort here. Mike Malott, as I called on the podcast, Bright Malott. So, I know. Sorry, he takes a shit. Sorry, I know. I like him. He's a nice guy. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to these two gentlemen, to Adam Forget and Mike Malott, but I mean, we're talking about the third fight up from a paper on a
Yeah,
pay-per-view card, and one of these guys is his second fight, or excuse me, his third fight in the UFC. He's 1-1 in the UFC. What are we doing?
yeah,
We're we've got let me make sure that that I'm remembering this correctly. I know one of them, according to Tapology, is the 88th ranked lightweight in the world. All right.
this is the best in the world, folks.
This
Top
is or welterweight, I mean,
paid.
sorry. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
number 48 and number 88 in the world welterweight rankings.
mm.
I mean, come on, fellas, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's again, it's tough to say. When they want to talk crap and say when's the last bad card for matchmakers to Dana talking crap to Francis or whoever like we're just gonna not only do you not count, we're just gonna do a erasure from you if you're outside of the UFC because the best is in the UFC. I know he's a promoter, that's what they're kind of supposed to do and all that stuff, but it is ironic, is it not, when you actually start breaking down the numbers and this is the paid portion of the card.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it's interesting, man. I'm all for not critiquing the fight, like not criticizing the fighters, like
Sure,
them in particular, because and the matchmakers do put on exciting fights all the time, all up and
sure,
down most cards. Like
yeah,
it's good entertainment most of the time, but when you put a $90 price tag ahead of it, okay, I want a little more. I want relevance as well. If we're not talking relevance, we're not talking pay-per-view worthy, in my opinion.
right. And you mentioned like the production values and stuff that you see like other shows still able to do, like the KSWs that
Right.
feel big, and we don't even follow KSW, and they don't have the same name fighters, and we don't speak that language, and we're like, wow, this looks big.
Yeah.
This feels like something I should be knowing what's going on. So that is a bit tough, but I complain enough as it is apparently. So I definitely don't want to lean too much into that. And you're right, and that's a great point you bring up. It's not the fighters' fault if they get brought up in the ponds, which is kind of what I didn't like about the argument that is staged with the McMahon tweet, because
Hmm.
the fighters are the ones, no matter what side, that end up taking strays in there,
Right.
But yeah, you bring up a good point. Tan Dan, oh man, he is. I've been watching some old stuff like from 2008 Ant recently, and boy, he's looking much older. As I hope you're still going. I'm gonna have to resync with you folks. Something been going on
Oh,
over
you're
here.
okay.
Still
Yeah. So
didn't
we're
quite
yeah we're
fix.
we're
Yeah, so you
underway.
keep
We're at
rolling.
we're at 4:30 into the first round. Oh, we got it. Looked like a growing shot that we might have
Ooh,
missed there. Um, that Mallet just took. Um, yeah, but looks like he shrugged that off. Mallet with a nice right hand down the middle. Figure just walks through it. Oh, and apparently, I'm hearing it was a body kick and not a shot to the groin,
oh
so
wow.
that the ref missed.
Okay.
We've had a lot of groin shots, but it looked like a pretty low one. Looked like perhaps the toes got in the body too. Yeah, that's one of the more painful iterations of that too. Right now, center of the cage. Um, oh, Jesus Christ! Now
It's all good.
someone's
It's all good. It's all
knocking on my
good. It's
door.
all
All right,
good. You're
I'll be
good. You're
right
good.
back.
It's all good, folks. I'll be up with you guys here in 1 second, and we'll be good to go. All right. We got Mike Malott on top, 154, 152, 151 for those in the future and live, working from top position. I apologize, missed how it got there, but Mike Malott looking to pass. We got a black belt on top versus brown belt Fugit on bottom, and he does pass to half guard, looking to apply shoulder pressure. Is Malott? I'm at 133, 132, 131.
Well, I'm way behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm going to go and roll this to the first round since we're almost there and we got live viewers. And then I'm going to pause, and we will probably fall a little bit behind you there, folks. I'm probably live with the listeners right now since I'm off a live feed. Adam, if you get back to his feet.
See, actually, it's go,
Uh,
go keep doing your thing. I
all
just
right.
was told that my daughter just threw up, so I need to go.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see what's up with
Please,
her. So
please. You're good. Please.
I
All
will
good.
be
I got it.
back.
You're good. No worries. You're not missing much here. We got a few. Okay. And then we got a few get left hand. 55 seconds, 54, 53. All right. Missed high kick by Malott playing the outside. Real high pace. Miss high kick from the rear for Fugit. A little bit of slop. Front kick hits. Caught, and a trip from Malott, who ends up back on top. Roughly 30 seconds to go. Fugit trying to regard and get his guard going here. And it gets briefly passed as Malott looks to resettle himself into a full guard with both butterflies in. Now 1 foot on the hip. Fugit tries to go for some type of rubber guard variation, but with the butterfly in, not too effective. Realizes it, lets it go, tries to get some elbows. 4 seconds left. Looks like we will see the second round. All right. I'm going to try to get this up on the television. There we go. Let's play there. We are in between rounds, folks. Round 1 and 2, going into round 2 shortly here for Fugit and Malott. All right, we'll be coming in shortly, folks. Feel free to submit scores in between rounds, especially as we're syncing up. We won't be scoring. All right, let's see if we can get it on the TV. There you go. Got it on the phone playing in the background just so we don't lose place. Of course, 448, 447, around two. Missed high kick by Malat, 445. Oh, maybe you guys are actually ahead of me because my TV one's at 430. All right. Apologies, folks. Going to switch over to the TV screen now. We're at 4:15, so I jumped a little ahead, but this one's actually probably more in time with live, so no one should be ahead of this one. Oh, and a left straight. Looks to briefly stun, drop, and it's an attempted club and sub here as Malat jumps on the guillotine, specialty of his in the camp that he did train at, and he gets the tap by Fugit. Round two, club and sub. I think that's what I called. I either called round one or by round two, I think, or round two. By round two. But either way, it's a club and sub for Mike Malat there. All righty. Man, probably should have put Malat sub. I didn't want to go to the well, didn't like it. It was like between that and Burial Decision. Burial Decision came through. Egate by KO did not. Did a bit of an ad there, breaking the fourth wall as far as betting goes. So this fight didn't really affect me, and I didn't have any leanings on it. But if I do get extra excited, please understand, please forgive me. The bias is stated. If either Charles DuBronx or the other underdog, Adine Aldana, come through in the final two fights, which is, most people's favorite fight of the nights, and biggest bets of the night are usually, on the main card for me, just because that's where the air quote study goes, and then that's also where just the sample sizes to study are. Um, so win or lose, at least you can give yourself the best chance possible. Depending. Wow, really nice guillotine. Gonna move over to the chat. Edgelord VB Anko says, I like how McMaynard called out BE for saying when the last bad card for matchmaking. Just weird and lazy from Maynard and a lot of weird fans. Yeah, that was crappy and just lazy. Low hanging fruit there. But shout out to BE, by the way. James Kendrick, like I said, Mick Maynard has a complete lack of self awareness, and people blow smoke up his ass. You know what? I do got to tip cap. Me and many criticized just the match, maybe not him in particular, but the matchmakers, as I do in my columns for the choosing of openers. And they went with the middleweight opener between Anders and Barrio, who I like both those guys. It's nothing against both those guys, but they traditionally have fights where they clinch against the fence. It was a really entertaining fight. So props to both those guys. And as I was joking with my guy Feño, who will be on a top 5 episode coming up, by the way, from the fight site. We were like, I was like, yeah, Mick Maynard's smirking at us right now. So I got to tip my hat, and I got to give credit where it's due, folks. But I hear you, Jimmy Kudo. I think Chris Presnell of MMA Ecosystem, number one source of MMA. Sorry. Need to drink some water here. Said it best. People buy pay-per-view due to star power, not because of fights. Yeah, I really can't agree with that. Disagree with that. Ghost Phantom 98. Those kicks to the body should be nice in the later rounds. Yeah, I was seeing some of those you're talking about, sir. Makato Kayagoku, is club and sub an opportunist move or a process-based one? It's definitely an opportunist move, and you got to have good finishing instincts. It's more finishing instincts than opportunism. Sometimes the process can cause the club and sub, right? And I don't know if process-based fighters are any better or less at capitalizing on it. I guess that, again, falls more into the category of a fighter's finishing instinct. But to answer Makato Kayagoku's question, um, yeah, maybe closer to opportunist, but I mean, I probably wouldn't try to confuse ourselves with either and say it's just more of your finishing prowess. How is a fighter's finishing prowess? A fighter that gets club and subs can get club and subs, or does tend to get club and subs if that's good finishing prowess right there. Synchro Wing, is it wrong of me to root for Aldana because I find Nunes extremely one note as a fighter and she doesn't excite me? It's not wrong at all. I wouldn't say that that's word for word my feelings, but I kind of ride a similar line where, you know, nothing against her, her story, her family, all beautiful things, um, undeniable. Goat. Say what you will about the weakness of her divisions and this and that. I'm definitely not trying to take away from her. It's nothing there, but yes, it's okay to just sometimes not like a fighter, right? Uh, can't hear what Mike Malot's saying, but if he says anything cool, as per usual, you guys know. Feel free to type in the chat what they say. Of course, we also invite people saying misinformation, which is kind of funny too, to be honest. But yeah, we're not listening on blast. Obviously, for the co-main and the main, we'll probably bump the volume up a bit. Usually, me or Ann are good about that. But my guy Ant is sitting down. Now, no rush, but we just closed with a round two club and sub, Mike Malott. Dropped him with a shifting left hand, it looked like, I believe, and then jumped on the gilly, the old guillotine.
All right. So I am back. I just saw the replay.
Nice, you caught it then. Nice.
Just
Hopefully
sat
everything's
down
all
as
right,
the
my man.
yeah, also my daughter she's been throwing up like all week just randomly, and it's kind of weird, like just seems to be out of nowhere
Oh
and
no.
not sparked by anything in particular. So we're trying to figure it out, but I thought that was in the past, and apparently it wasn't. And yeah, so I had to go tend to my son while my wife tended to my
Oof.
daughter. So always fun.
I,
Never
uh,
stops being exciting in a household of toddlers.
I was one of those kids, man. I threw up a lot for a lot of reasons. I remember throwing up was a big part of my childhood for some reason. I don't know why. So I feel I can almost feel the shame as you speak that, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Or at
so it's
least on one
always
side of
fun.
it.
Yeah, and
Well,
like
hopefully,
kids are like
it's all
little petri dishes, man. Like they
yes.
bring so much pestilence into the house that I'm surprised I'm not sick right now.
Jesus, dude, Bronx looks. I mean, I noticed on this since back before he fought Tony, you really start seeing him really physically maturing at lightweight. But he's not joking about coming in looking like a tank or a warhorse for this fight. We'll see how it translates. We got the co-main event next, folks. They're doing a close up of Beneil just shadow boxing, so we're nowhere close yet. We'll sync up as we get closer. Um, I'm just trying my luck on the TV. I wasn't having a when it has a fit. It doesn't matter if I do it from my phone or from my TV. So I'm just going to keep it to the TV here,
Yeah.
um, which was like 15 seconds ahead of my phone. Don't worry,
Well,
folks. Ant already hooked me up with some good advice. So by next month, we'll have some more improvements to maximize this hardware and stuff we're working with here, or connections we're working with.
yeah, I gotta redo mine now. Mine is giving me some issues here, but we shall overcome. We'll get through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I said with the ahead of the last pay per view event, I didn't watch it. I had a good co-main event too. It's just me mixed with me being contrarian to just having legitimate good reasons. I'm very bittersweet about these matchups, and whether it's Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns or Charles Oliveira, Benil Dariush, both are very good parallels because you've got deserving fighters on one
Hmm.
of the sides. You've got the classic. Shout out to Heavy Hands podcast. They say brave Brazilian, but I always say like Brazilian warhorse.
Yeah,
They're the guys that get called to the Russian promotions to go get fight tough regional fights to having to take the tough UFC fights. And then you have other people who the UFC, let's just say, I always subtly put in my articles for context, doesn't check the boxes of traditional UFC marketability. You know what I mean by that, Ant. And guys,
absolutely.
Middle Eastern guys like Bilal or Benil, say what you will, don't seem to do it for the UFC for whatever reason. So I don't know. But so the UFC goes, you know what? Let's have them kill off each other, Ant.
Yeah, let's keep them busy with each other. Like it's, I hate to bring this name up all the time, but whenever we're talking about lightweight or even welterweight, a lot of times the name Conor McGregor has to come up because his presence means that certain things are just going to get put on hold.
Yes.
A guy
Yep.
like Benil
Yes.
Dariush, who should have already gotten a title shot,
Yep.
is going to be put on a holding pattern so we can see what happens with Connor and Chandler. Like that's how this is going to play out. Like we got the divisions to just kind of get tossed in the air and contenders to get shuffled around because we just want to see what's going to happen with that guy. And if we can sneak him into a title shot, then okay, we're really running to the bank now. And that
Yeah.
that seems to be
Absolutely.
the running narrative.
Yep. Yep. And the only guys that came close to this, it's like, earlier UFC fans, this feels like the John Fitch treatment. Except if you forget, John Fitch actually got a title shot eventually, and
Hmm.
B, even though I was a contrarian defender of grinding style, I'm not going to pretend that John Fitch was any close to as entertaining as Beneil has been on this run. So you can't use that excuse against not giving it to him.
Yeah.
And then of course Tony Ferguson, who they reluctantly ran into the dirt, and are still booking him, even though he's dude's going through some serious problems. But whatever, right?
Right. Yeah. It's I mean, and it's also another symptom of just being such a talent rich division. Like you're gonna have this bottleneck where guys where you can look at the top 10 of lightweight, and all of them have a chance to be champion. All of them they've either held a belt, whether it be excuse me, undisputed or interim. They've fought for a belt, whether it be undisputed or interim, or they have at least have the skill set to defeat someone that could be holding the belt. That's a problem with lightweight. So somebody's going to get shafted. But I think Benil Dariush is comical at this point. What he's had to do in order to get passed over every time.
It is, and again, I'm not even like, I don't know about Ant, I know, which it doesn't matter either way for either of us, but I'm not even like the biggest Dariush fan. Like I'm admitting my bias for Charles Oliveira. When you stepped away, I was admitting my I was breaking the fourth wall, admitting my gambling bias. Of course, when we start, folks, I'm gonna do my best. I always do to call it down the line. But yeah, it's not even a bias that I'm speaking of. At least it's just kind of what's right.
Mm-hmm. Right, and but this is a fight where I mean the X's and O's of this look fantastic. Like this looks like this
Sure.
should be
Yeah.
a
Oh, it does.
great fight, an action fight.
Yes.
Both guys have never shied away from a firefight or just a prolonged ground battle with scrambles. I mean that all of it just signed them both up for that. They've done it many times, and I expect them to do it again tonight. Um, but what I'm really looking forward to, whoever wins, probably going to get some fun stuff post fight, right?
Yeah.
Like do I want to hear like a long pseudo religious rant from Benil Dariush, or do I want to hear Charles Oliveira talk about how he's going to fight at featherweight again? Which one
I
is going
know,
to make
right? I
make my
know.
heart
I
happier? I
know.
don't know.
As some of the YouTube commenters appreciated, I said in the breakdown episode, I'm like, this is like they're both religious guys. I'm like, but this is like the hippie version of Jesus, and Charles Dubronx is like all about good vibes and turning water into wine, like the old stuff the OG stuff you read about Jesus. Whereas Benil's like straight crusader. He's going to Abu
Yeah,
Dhabi, he's trying to convert Muslim. He don't
yeah,
care. He's here on a mission. Like it's little
yeah. He's like
different energies here.
it's the difference. It's like one guy who just like internalizes the spirituality of it, and the and
Right?
the other and the other guys is protesting outside the abortion clinic. Like that's
Yes.
the two different
Yes.
type of Christians that we have today. So,
Yeah. We'll see if they can come to the middle at the end of this fight, especially with their shootbox backgrounds to tie it back into martial arts here. But yeah, it's definitely the parallels of their backgrounds are there's layers to this, folks.
yeah, I'm here for it. Like this is
Yeah.
the sort of thing where like I'm gonna roll my eyes at pretty much any post fight speech, right?
Right.
Just because
Sure.
I'm
Sure.
that guy. But
Sure.
but in a way, like I kind of look forward to this. Like this is the sort of mix up of personalities that I want for my mixed martial
Yes.
arts.
Yes. Absolutely. I got the walkout with Benil, the number 4, and his stats on just for instance. I take it you're not there yet.
No, I'm still in the promo package.
All good, all good. Yeah, so heads up, folks. We may, which we as we, it's probably normal here actually. So I don't know why I fret it, but like we're actually usually normally about no more than 45, but we usually average around like 30 seconds behind up to. So FYI. So hopefully that doesn't make you go from too messant to non. But at least we won't be spoiling anything for you. So again, if anything, you guys can still listen to us and maybe enjoy because you're watching the action, but your ears are processing something different. And when if there is an abrupt finish, you guys get to turn around and look at our stupid faces and go, "These dummies don't know what's about to come." and you get to kind of watch that transition happen, which is fun. It's fun. So
Yeah, like, look,
hopefully you
there it is.
guys
Oh,
enjoyed that.
it happened. It happened.
Yep.
Wait for it.
Yep. Especially if like knowing me, I'll probably be saying something like doing like a Bill Walton, like saying the complete opposite that's about
Yeah.
to happen, and then it just blows up in my face, like, oh, well,
All right, I got Darius at the prep point right now.
okay. Um, I'm trying to think of a good place for me to pause. That'll be I'll wait for I just cited Dariush's number 4 and stuff, and that prep point part. I'm gonna pause at Oliveira's when it first rolls down. Oliveira in tears here as he's kind of not tears, but you can tell he's emotional. Walking out, holding number 1 in the air.
This is
You'll see.
I'm very excited for this fight.
Yes, I know we didn't do a great job at like promoting it because we're just being real about certain contexts, and that was my fault. I started that, but yeah, X's and O's, like Ant was saying. I mean, there's no way you don't get excited for this fight, and between these two fighters.
Yeah, I don't think you really the UFC's lightweight division can't go wrong if either man wins. Like this is great.
Number 1 just popped up, and let's get rolled out and pause a couple seconds after that. All right. The graphic rolled down, and then I got 2 chest bumps, and I got a pause. So basically, when Charles takes his shirt off and the graphic rolls down, let me know, and I'll just play right in.
Okay, gotcha.
He's taking his time. He's really. I'll talk. I'll talk. So you talk with me as he walks out, and you see it for yourself, Ant. But I don't know if it's a good or bad thing as a Du Bronx fan, but I don't think I've ever seen him walk out like this before. He really is. God, he looks bigger than he's ever looked. Oh my goodness.
It was I saw some picture of him a couple days ago. Something he looked massive. He looked absolutely massive. That's the guy I want to get on the mic and swear that he's going to fight at featherweight again. That's what I want to
Yes,
see.
that's hilarious. Yes, yeah. Yeah. I was going to mention that too because I was saying you don't notice it until about the Tony Ferguson fight because in every post-fight interview, like in the first half of his lightweight run, what Ant's referring to, he was just still asking to go back to featherweight. It was hilarious.
All right, I got Oliveira walking out now. Hands out to the crowd.
Tell me if you see the emotion that I'm seeing. I don't know what they're saying on commentary.
See, I'll wait till they. Oh, yep, I see it. He's kind of got that Oliver McCall sort of walkout right now. I don't know if you remember him, boxer that used to when he came out to the ring, he always looked like he was crying.
Oh wow.
But it was most known for having a drug-induced freakout when he fought Lennox Lewis. So he came to that fight.
Oh
He came
wow.
out without the emotion. But then when the fight started, he had the emotion and he was turning away, and the ref
That's
had to
from
call
I
it.
know that. I know you're
All
talking
right.
about now. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Oliveira's taking off his shirt.
Okay. Tell me when you see that graphic.
All right. Yeah, there it is.
All right. Just gave a kiss to a second corner man, hugging there,
Yep.
embracing.
Perfect
Yep.
timing.
We're sweet. Kiss to the third, hugging,
Yep.
embracing.
Did they all
Cool.
dye
All
their
right.
hair in solidarity or something?
Yeah. They did it on the Embedded show. I love that.
Oh, they're all Simon Phoenix fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I That's a great reference too. I went with for my place theme. I went with Place Beyond the Pines because
Mm.
I can't think of much Canada, but name Canada, and then Ryan Gosling's got a bunch of crazy tattoos and blonde hair,
Yep.
and then you got my favorite Eva Mendes, who's representing Aldana. And even though Gosling's on the one on the motorcycle, they're both on the motorcycle, and Aldana rides her motorcycle all around Mexico. It's so awesome. So I was like, all right, there's the theme. That's how my stupid little brain works.
Yeah. Your brain works just fine if Eva Mendes is part of your thought process.
Oh yeah, I love me Eva. The opening of We Own the Night is just one of my favorite
Oh yeah.
openings. I mean, oh
Yeah. Her and Step Brothers, fantastic.
oh yeah,
Not Step
that
Brothers.
that was
The other guys. I
uh,
mean,
other guys. Yes, that's right. Yeah, my girl played me that one, and I didn't see that before, and I was just dying.
yeah. confusing my Will Ferrell classics here.
It's okay. I'm like so late on catching up on these movies that are obvious. In some case, like we were talking about with some franchises, I've never caught up at all. I'll just randomly jump in and be like, "What is going on?"
Just the shock from the first Fast and Furious to Fast V or whatever. What letter are they on now? To see
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's got to be a total shock to your system. Like this, a different world.
James Kendrick, to parlay off of Ant, Jack Slack calls the Chandler Poirier McGregor Gaethje as the old man part of that lightweight that gets favors. Yeah, that's definitely the crop, and great fighters there. I'm not hating, but really can't deny that's the crop that's been immovable from them rankings, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, they're gonna validate things with that BMF belt. That's legit.
Jesus.
We
Yeah, I
needed
heard
that.
what I mean. What did they offer him? 50,000 extra instead of the original 25,000 extra to get Gaethje to sign. Oh, that was depressing. That's all they're offering these guys, anyways.
Yeah,
This feels like it should be a 5 round fight, and
absolutely.
the sad part is whether it's a last sad note. It's an awesome fight, about to get underway, but whether it's 3 or 5, it doesn't matter. I don't know if these guys are getting paid any extra for it. So let's hope for a good fight, and let's hope everybody gets paid because not everybody can win.
Absolutely. All right. So this is one of those times where I'm like really, really buzzing inside. I'm keeping it contained
Me
because I'm on
too.
camera,
Yeah,
but
me too. Right. Yeah, same here. Right. Charles Oliveira is one of those guys for me that just from watching the sport, it's just like, geez, my goodness, he's full. He looks like he's full form tonight. Jeez,
yeah.
never seen him this big looking.
Yeah, I mean, from a style perspective, this fight is just beautiful. Like they match so evenly in every category, but
Yep.
they match evenly until you start breaking down the little minutia, and then it's like they complement each other in such a way. It's like if they combined into one person, they'd be the perfect fighter.
Yep. You got knees and hook counters from Oliveira that are going to be live in this fight. You've got southpaw liver kick and southpaw counters from Beneil Dariush that are going to be live. Of course, Oliveira 0-4 in Canada, 4-2 against UFC level lefties. He's got Dariush tonight, and we are in, folks. Round one.
All right,
457, 456, 455 for those
all
in the
right.
future and at home.
Here we go, measuring each other just a little bit. Couple kicks
Yep.
exchanged there. Darius lands on the leg.
Yep. They're
Oh, wow,
rear-legged
head
attacking
kick
each
for
other.
Oliveira.
Yep.
I mean, these guys, I guess
Ooh,
that
nice
feeling out
straight
process
left to
lasted about
Dariush.
0.3 seconds. Oh, Darius,
Yeah,
a
both
nice
these
punch
guys are.
combination there.
Yep. Both these guys are pressure fighters at heart, but Oliveira taking the lead as many suspected. Dariush has a good counter game, looks to spin Oliveira against the fence here.
Yeah, he got a knee in to Darius's body, but it cost him the
Mm-hmm.
positioning against the fence. So,
Yes.
I-4-9.
Yeah, offense is definitely Oliveira's game, but defense is where it gets squirrely for these guys. Dariush on
Uh,
top.
yeah, it looked like Oliveira was trying to go for some sort of toss there, but lost his balance, and now Darius is on top.
Great spot for Dariush to be early. He's great at neutralizing high level grapplers in his past, working from the guard.
Oliveira found the guard pretty quickly there.
Yep.
Throwing elbows from the bottom. Looked like he's having a little success, but he's eating some hooks in the process there.
Yep.
Uh, Looked like they both thought about leg locks for half a second. Now they're back to the ground and pound.
Oliveira likes to stay busy. Beneil, yeah, killed his leg entanglement, and they're just exchanging strikes. Oliveira will strike from the bottom. Just curious how much he'll make an effort to get up against a guy like Dariush.
I wonder if Darius hurt his hand on that one. He threw a full power shot, and
Yes,
Oliveira
that
missed
looked
that one. And yeah, Darius punched
deep
the
half.
canvas full on.
Oliveira is
Oh
also good with
wow.
leg locks as well as Dariush.
Okay, he's
It's a good.
triangled
Oh,
around Darius's leg, and he's rolling. He's rolling for
locked
it,
in on.
but Darius looks like
Nope.
he's gonna get
Out.
out.
Yep. Out and on top. Would have rather seen Oliveira use that to get out, but he's not unknown for attacking legs before. Dariush working on top.
But in a way, maybe Oliveira needs to establish the threat to Darius. Darius is a guy who's not used to feeling a submission threat.
True.
So if he feels that, maybe it makes a reluctance with some of the striking exchanges later on in the fight. So this could be money in the bank.
Yeah, true.
He
Just
finds a
three rounds tonight.
he finds a
See if they
closed
need it.
guard pretty quick.
Yep. Dariush really staying busy with these ground strikes, posting on a forearm, going body head. Oliveira wrapping him up now.
Yeah, it seems like Oliveira's like teasing a lot of things. He's got wrist control, then he lets it go, and then he goes to the elbow, back to wrist control. He's trying to crank the shoulder. He's shifting hips. He's just kind of it's like he's throwing feelers out, trying to get some sort of big reaction from Dariush.
Nice, and he is up.
Oh, nice up kick, and
Knees
he's
to the
up.
body. Nice knee to the body again, except now he's got outside position. That's very big. You really mentally you wanted to see where Oliveira's urgency is. He had a hard time getting going. Say what you will about how good Makachev is, which he is obviously, but they're exchanging now. Another head kick, left hook,
Oh, nice head kick from
right
Oliveira.
hand.
Wow, I think Dariush is hurt.
Looks like yep.
Oh,
Rocks
he's
Dariush with the right
yeah,
hand.
he drops
Yep.
him, but he's going for that low single as a reaction. Dariush rolling for the leg. To no avail. Oliveira's on top and landing some hammer fists. This
And
is
he gets
very
the
close to being
stoppage.
stopped,
Do
and that's a
Bronx.
wrap, son.
Slim Charles. Do Bronx.
Wow.
Cash those Do Bronx tickets, folks. If you took the former champion at plus money, Charles Oliveira comes through. My beautiful girlfriend is fist pumping because I'm trying to stay unbiased, but folks, Slim Charles. I'm a big Wire fan, of course, and I got to equate people to the Wire. And Slim Charles' slow, quiet rise. That is Do Bronx Oliveira. He ain't done, baby.
That
Gets over,
was
gives a big kiss to Beneil. Wow.
and this fight sort of delivered in a much more compact package than I think we expected. It did deliver everything we wanted. I would say, like, we got the wild striking exchanges, we got the scrambles, we got the submission threats, we kind of got the full run of mixed martial arts in that bite-sized portion.
Absolutely. Gotta do a little bit of a celebration here. Forgive me for getting the tweet out, my man Ant. But
Oh, hey,
yeah,
hey,
that was
all good,
beautiful.
man. Oliveira going out into the crowd. Who's he hugging out there? Yeah, bringing him right back to that cage. Oh, wow, the setup on that head kick was so lovely.
Boom, shifting left hook, a right hook, like a
Mhm.
la Gaethje Barboza, folks, along the fence line. Didn't get the clean KO and had to follow up to get the finish, but still, that was the similar setup there. That was beautiful.
Yeah, just the way he got him into that head kick to throw that punch, and then right behind it, that foot came up. Just beautiful stuff.
Absolutely. Woo! Feels good to cash one. Get that out. All right. Hopefully, Twitter doesn't be jerks and they decide to not let me tweet things with gifts. Of course, when it's like
Oh
the
my
very few
God,
times I actually get a win.
Twitter has been killing my jokes tonight.
Right?
Killing all my jokes.
It's like the higher the traffic is, it's like they slow it down or something because they can't handle it. Got to post my Place Beyond the Pines gift, which is also the best gift for when you cash a dog. It's Ben Mendelsohn, one of my favorite character actors, by the way, with Ryan Gosling doing the dog swing. posting it now. Yep, it let me post it. Thankfully, I didn't jinx myself there. That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit so I can hear folks. DC's interviewing Du Bronx. My favorite timeline. It's a bunch of OGs, and it's whenever Jim Miller or Du Bronx win, my timeline is amazing. Pretty much, it's just a bunch of us OGs like going crazy, popping off. So shout out to the MMA analysis boys.
And he is speaking English.
Yep, and he says the champion has a name. It's Charles Oliveira, and his name is Charles Oliveira. That's right, Du Bronx. I mean, folks, it was crazy, and I definitely, I'm not trying to be after the fact. I gave credence. I did my Southpaw report on the weaknesses and strengths of Oliveira's game. The weaknesses were there. He could have gotten hit tonight, but this guy knocked Justin Gaethje on his ass, and Justin Gaethje said that's the strongest punch he's ever felt in his life, folks. We
Mm-hmm.
can't forget that. And here's another reminder, right?
Right.
See what he just said? That's right. He says it was 10%, and it was 120%. Champ has a name. Dana, I'm next. I'll fight him in his house. He said, "Tell him, Charles. Stop with the I don't know. Whoever's marketable actor is gonna jerk me off the hardest. We know who the real motherfucker is. His name is Charles Oliveira. Get it right, folks. Get that
Yes.
message out on the streets. Get it out there.
Yeah.
He's the motherfucker.
That is a bad man.
Yep. Jesus, man. I know he submitted Poirier, but that body work he did on Poirier in the first round, I mean, these are like great strikers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
Yeah.
jujitsu guy.
Like prolific strikers. It's guys
Yeah,
who their whole thing is blasting people's heads off, and he
yeah,
went up there and stood toe to toe with them and came out the better of it. So
yep.
yeah, this it's hard to find anybody who checks all the boxes like Charles Oliveira.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Nunez and Aldana have a tough act to follow.
Hmm. That was crazy.
Yeah. All right.
That was amazing. Wow, he's crying. Yeah, he deserves to be emotional after that. Wow.
Yeah, that was a hell of a performance, man. He looked a world apart from his last fight.
Yeah, look completely. Yeah, he did. Yep. And look. Yep. Thank you for saying that, John Anik. Get that narrative out there. Get the good narratives out there.
Didn't realize Charles Oliveira is dangerously close to the record for UFC wins.
Yeah.
3 fights behind Jim Miller.
I'm just glad I don't have to update. I did my listicle. It was I ranked Nunez finishes, which I may have to update. Hopefully not as someone as Aldana breaking the fourth wall. But I did Oliveira, but I just did focus on subs since he's the sub leader. So no subs here, so I don't have to go back and refine
Oh,
that list.
gonna,
Yeah, those are my victories.
gotta love when the action helps you sneak out a little extra work, huh?
Yeah,
That's the,
little. Yep.
you ever go to tape study and somebody maybe you're not familiar with or you just need to brush up on, and then you go to their Tapology or SureDog database and you're like, oh my god, it's a bunch of decisions. Like, oh.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. No, I get that. Like, 'cause there are some guys on there. I'm just like, oh my goodness. And then who's one that happened to recently where I was like, oh, you're turning into Francimar Barroso for me. Francimar Barroso was a fighter where it said 3 rounds, but it felt like you watched 15 rounds, and you just all you want is your time back. That's all you want. And that was one guy where he would just staring contest, the occasional right hand leg kick, and then
Just
they do
like,
the worst thing when they have both. There's both a bad fight and a horribly slow face throw nothing fight. He would have both of those, and then do the worst thing after is where you run and jump on the cage and act like you just have all this energy all of a sudden, and you're the
yeah.
shit, and like all this energy that like you wasn't present for the first like the last 20 minutes. Oh, now you have it.
It's like you said everything, but you're going to Disneyland.
Yeah. Yes.
It's
Yes.
like, come
Exactly.
on,
Like
man.
it's like this was some like no ranking, mean nothing fight on the prelims that just took all of our life away, and you were celebrating like you just won the Super Bowl out here. It is. It was almost comical. Like that guy was comical.
Right.
Nice. I saw this earlier. Shared it from my man Fenyo from the fight site with Alexa Grasso and Arena Aldana 10 years ago. Their regional titles,
Oh wow.
and yeah, that's just so crazy. Their journey and what a story it would be for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so great that the UFC is going to
Honestly.
recognize Mexican MMA in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah, or Canada, or
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, wow, that's good job, fellas.
Oh boy, yeah. It's
Like,
I
wow.
think like, and I think I saw a quote today. I don't want to misquote, but I'm pretty sure I saw a quote from Dana saying, "I'm bummed we missed Cinco de Mayo." I'm like, are you? Why are you talking like you're boxing? Like you guys have abandoned your traditional dates in lieu of the schedule for years now. We just had a Memorial Day weekend with nothing. We've
Yeah,
had New Year's Eve shows and Super Bowl cards for the last few years with nothing. Like you guys
yeah,
don't even try anymore. Like what are you talking about?
yeah. It's like that's not a thing anymore.
Cinco de
Y-
Mayo was always boxing and Mexican boxing's thing. What are
Yeah,
you talking about, Dana?
they don't do the Ohio show for the Arnold Classics. They don't, none of the staples of the schedule that we were used to years ago. They've abandoned all of it. So
Rio says in Truesdale says, Dan, you mentioned Dude Bronx walkout was slow. UFC 281 he wants to point out that for UFC 281, Zhang Wei Li, it took like 10 minutes at a snail's pace for her walkout. I went to the bathroom and she was still walking. I think I remember that. Do you remember that?
yeah.
You know, one of the longest ones is a really random one, but is the Fight Pass era of stepping up their schedule where they were just throwing stuff at random times at Fight Pass in like the Netherlands. And it was Geraint Durandamy coming out for the co-main event under Arlovsky and Overeem. And her walkout just took forever. If anybody remembers, she came out with like a flag and she was like singing and stopping and hugging. Like the commentary was like having one. Like they couldn't help but like start like styling on her for it. It was hilarious. Like we'll get here eventually, folks. It was great. I think it was like Kenny and like John Hannon. she's slowly making her way there. She's
Right.
slowly making her way.
They can't
She's
all walk
enjoying
out like
herself.
Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, I know, right? Kicking the door.
Yeah,
Biggie.
it's like that
Mm, mm,
sprint, and
mm,
then the
mm,
song's gone. He's
mm,
there already. Like,
mm. This goes out to you. Like when that song comes out now, I feel like I'm like, should I be doing something? I have like PTSD from Frankie Edgar. Like
oh man, that's
I'm
that's
like,
been a
wait,
staple
should
of
I
my
be doing something?
workouts for ever. Like
Smart
since
man,
that
smart
album
man.
dropped, that's the staple of the workout.
I'm a Biggie fan in general, obviously, but yeah, the smart man that would work for me too.
I've got a whole playlist like that producer DJ Premier. Like I've got a whole
Hmm.
workout playlist just of his beats. Like that's a
Nice,
motivating man in the gym. So
nice. Isn't that great when you just find someone that works for you? Not works for you. Works. Well, yeah, works for you. You know what I mean? Works for
yeah.
you. It works for your energy.
Oh, of course, of course. I need
That's the
that.
best. That's the
Yeah,
best.
I need, especially on the bag. I need to hear the hard drums, and yeah, I need that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know what you mean. There's something that's thrown me off because I'm trying to be more organized with my workouts. But then I also have my music on a shuffle, and certain
Hmm.
music like that I deem bag workout music will come on, and I'm like, it's not time for the bag workout
Yeah,
yet, though. Oh, it just drives me
yeah.
nuts.
You gotta look a few songs ahead and just shuffle. I don't know if you use Spotify, but I got my Spotify playlist, and I'll shuffle things around on the queue to try to time it for the bag work. And then before I start wrapping my hands, all right, let's these are gonna be my 5 songs that are gonna get me through this session.
I should do that when I finally find something that works. I think I'm going to customize something. Um, Especially because I do where I work at 3 minute repetitions on my timer, on my round timer. So that's kind of easy to find roughly songs that fit and don't overlap or throw off if you want to
Yeah.
plan something. Um, but yeah, I listen to stuff all over the place from 80s to hip hop. But I will always close, like if I'm doing a burnout, Muay Thai knee burnout on the bag, I got to do some, I don't know why, but I always got to listen to Metallica Whiplash, the first minute or so of it. And I just burn out doing Muay Thai knees, da da
Oh
da
yeah.
da da, and then I'm done.
Yeah. That you gotta have
Very
that
end.
one track that's like good for the flurries.
Yes,
Um,
yeah.
mine used to be Kanye's Black Skinhead. That was one
Okay,
that, yeah, when that would kick in, I mean,
I haven't heard that in a
I'm
while.
just
Wow.
digging into the body, just da da da.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
going.
Irene Aldana walking out now. Uh, is that where you're at, Ant?
Yep, yep. She's walking out. That
Cool.
graphic just popped up.
Oh, she's at the prep point already.
Yeah, she's at the prep point, about to take the
Yeah, you're a
towel off
little
her
ahead of
head.
me. Okay, she's still walking out, and she's almost at the prep point now. She's just slapping the last hand. So
Okay.
I'm slightly ahead. If you want to find
Oh
a
wait.
if
Oh no, she's taking the. I think we're at the same place. She's taking the stuff off. She's
yeah,
not.
she's taking it off now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Perhaps I said prep point prematurely.
It's all good. Yep, she just took a
Took the pants off.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. We're.
I was for sure I was gonna. She just took one layer off, and I'm like, no, Dan, she's not taking off the other layer. She's a female fight. They wear the shirts. So I was just
I don't know
like,
what's
she's
what
got the
sort of
first
pay per
shirt
view
off.
you
She's
think
gonna take
this
the
is,
second. I'm
Dan.
like, oh wait, no, wait, no. I was,
Like this is ESPN, not the Spice Channel.
yeah, yeah. This isn't. Wait,
The Spice Channel still exists? Is that still a thing?
that's I don't know, but that's totally at my age range. It was it's Spice. This is Skin and
I
Max
know it
shows.
was it. And
Hey,
Adam and Eve. Yeah.
hey, listen though, the Spice was different though, because Spice actually, if you were like me and my degenerate friends in the early '90s or mid '90s, you at least they had the blurs that you could like trick yourself into being. I
Oh
think I
yeah.
saw something.
Yeah, you can kind of, you got to tilt your head to the side, and then you can interpret the waves. Yeah.
You gotta tell your buddy, like, trust me, after midnight it'll get much better. The blurs get much better.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, you're almost like you're a blur expert and shit. Oh, the joys of growing up pre-internet.
Oh man.
You
Hey,
kids
but
don't
when
understand.
like LimeWire came around, shut it down, man. LimeWire was
Yeah,
it's a
yeah, that
gold
was the
mine.
early. Yeah. Music priority.
Yeah.
Input keyboard,
I
typing away
swear I'm searching for Dr. Dre
furiously.
songs. I swear.
Just feverlessly just stroking the keyboard. Oh, yeah. This is yeah. It's for pirating music. Yeah, sure.
Yep. All about the music.
This is what you're gonna get with our commentary, folks. You're gonna get some '90s conjecture, some franchise movie talk. We'll get everything in.
All right, the lights go out. And Mana Nunes is making her walk.
All right, folks. Let's see what we got. Ghost Phantom, the right head kick was money from Oliveira. It was, sir. So give
Mm-hmm.
love to the chat while we're in here. Apologies, guys. I've been too much on that, but I appreciate you guys. That was an awesome end. Can we end the pay-per-view there? I know. I wish. I'm nervous for this one. Get your shots into me now while you can. Really not smart of a guy who's down on the year, and I've been getting a lot of waves of haters lately to pick against the GOAT. Because picking against the GOAT or a popular fighter alone will get you some hate in the comments, as you know, Ant.
Mm-hmm.
Or just not saying something polite about like Khabib or something, like people will get mad at you. So I'm definitely asking for it. So just get it in now, because not only the after the factors suck, after the factors are the worst when they wait till after the fact to tell you that John Jones or Amanda Nunes is the GOAT. Like, come on, you had the GOAT on your side of the argument. You couldn't have been before the fact. You had the GOAT on your side. That was like me giving you minus 1,000 odds, and you still have to wait till after the fact. So get it in now. I promise I'll take it on the chin. I won't block you. But no, we got a good crowd in here tonight. Everybody's been real positive and enjoying it. So thank you guys. Seriously, hit the like button. Make sure you follow my man Ant Walker MMA. Give him some love. Edgelord says, I may have lost, but I don't. Oh wait. Oh, sorry. He goes. Edgelord goes. Congrats, I went on Dariush straight bet, but seriously, congrats, Dan. Oh, I really appreciate that. Edgelord, you're already, just from that comment alone, you're a good winner. I'm much more forgiving to a bad loser than I am a bad winner, if that makes sense. So I love seeing people like win or win or lose with respect, there. So you seem like that kind of a dude. So I appreciate that, man. I always try to give love to my friends, even if I'm on the opposite side. So I feel you. Hopefully the rest of your fights and bets or whatever you guys do or don't do is going well. Mark Fellow says Jesus forgives you, Vinny. Oh my God, Mark Fellows. Cheers to you, Mark. I think you're on the beers tonight as well. We're all having a good time, buddy.
Definitely, definitely.
Um, any emotion you guys are sensing from either of these walkouts? We had a more of a
Mm.
calm Nunes, normal Aldana, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, Nunes seems pretty normal. She walks out with like this like I wouldn't say rage on her face, but she means business. She looks very very serious when she's walking out and incredibly focused. That's no different tonight. So
Well, I'm glad my thing cut out now, as opposed to while we're in the action, and I'm just glad it didn't cut out during Dariush Oliveira. So you keep
oh
rolling,
yes,
Ant, and hopefully I'll be
all
able
right,
to meet up with you. We'll see who ends up ahead of who, and we might have to do that pause game
all
depending on
right,
what frame we get into. But yeah, I'm still rebooting over here.
all right,
Appreciate your
cool.
patience, folks. And this is the plus of having a co-host here. I got some help, so.
Yeah, we got a little backups. Hopefully, I stay active on this stream as well. So but yeah, so we've got Nunes shaking off the warm ups, and Bruce Buffer is about to do his thing as they roll the tail of the tape.
All right.
Yeah, I not sure what to think about this one off rip. I will say that to have Nunes holding both belts in her promo picture, of course we know why, because she is the featherweight champion. It's just no featherweight division.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, she got asked about that. She's like, someone will come around eventually.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was like,
like.
the goat, folks. That is the ironic part about the goats that we aforementioned. It's like ironically, the people that most people consider the goats in the male or female categories are ironically in the weakest divisions as well. Well,
But of course, the argument could be that their divisions appear weak because of their presence. They're
yes, of
so
course.
dominant. It's a little bit of both.
And
I
it's
mean,
also weird to say weak with the word heavyweight, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the big boys, but you know what I mean. Depth is
yeah,
probably the word I'm looking for there.
yeah.
Not trying to disrespect you, big boys. All right, I'm loading back up here. Let's see where
All
I
right.
end up. We got they're bringing them out for the fist bump on my end. Where you at?
I am still with Buffer.
Okay, I'm gonna boom. Oh wait, that's not. Let me know when they bump fists. I'm a couple
Okay.
seconds from that, and that'll give me my 2-click buffer, so you can tell me when they bump fists.
All
When they
right.
come
Gotcha.
together, and then they do the fist bump.
All right. So, of course, the safe bet is going with Nunes. Someone as dominant as her. But I mean, she's talked about retirement more than a little bit in the last couple of years. We saw when she first really started talking about it, what happened against Juliana Pena, and then admitting like she came back to fight Pena simply because she just didn't like her and just didn't want to leave the belt with her. Um,
Yeah.
how motivated is she for this one? Are we going to see someone who's considering retirement tonight, or are we going to see the same person, that absolutely railroaded Pena in the rematch, and that same person that railroaded pretty much everyone who thought about fighting for the belt at bantamweight, the person who's railroaded everyone
Yep.
that you'd put on that women's MMA Mount Rushmore.
Yep. Where you at right now?
Introducing Nunes,
Still
and
okay.
she's holding the fence and doing a little shoulder dip.
Cool. Well, I just say somebody said synchro wing. Is that an example of Charles adding something with the right hand, the head kick combo, a little bit of the right hand smoke to disguise it? Yeah, yeah, that
Yep.
looked like it. I'll have to go back and watch, but that was a
Yeah,
good
that's
pick
what it
right there.
was. It was lovely. I love that
Good.
combo.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
Love it. It's one of my favorite ones to drill in the bag. All right. They're in the middle
Okay.
and touch gloves.
All right. Nunez bouncing.
Yep.
Aldana bouncing.
Yep. And a guy that
Okay.
looks
What?
like Nipsey Hussle sitting in the back. Yep.
Great call on the fly, my man. Look at that. I appreciate that too because I always joke. I always watch people in the background. Oh, am I getting
All
a
right,
real
here we go.
pause? Okay, you keep us informed because mine I might be having running into some schmechnical difficulties. Keep going.
All right, Aldana feigning with the jab a little bit. Nunes sort of mentioned she lunges in with the body jab, misses on that. Aldana's got a really high guard, really tight guard. Nunes sneaks in a body kick, follows up with a leg kick, right on the calf. They're pretty much dead center in the cage. Um, Aldana looks like she's waiting on something, but she's got that high guard. Got the elbows in, trying to protect the body a little bit more now. Lead leg is out pretty far. Nunes misses on a head kick, goes back to the front kick to the body, misses on that as well. So it looks like Aldana's looking to play the counter from what we see so far. Nunes looks like she wants to do the same thing, but Aldana's not giving her anything to counter. More missed punches. They're just kind of hitting the air right now. Nunes keeping
What
that
time?
lead hand out. I'm at 340.
Gotcha.
39. Got it.
Let me know if when you get to 235 if I don't like back up with you by then.
Okay. Oh, Nunes with a quick single. Nothing really happened. Aldana bounced back up. Nunes backed off, exchanging some leg kicks there.
Sounds pretty decently paced.
Yeah, yeah. They're still filling each other out.
Mm.
Yeah, little spurts of activity here and there, but nothing to write home about so far.
All right, this one's
All
even
right.
more ahead. This one's at 108.
Okay, there's still.
No spoilers. Sorry to spoil that, but let me know when you're coming
Oh,
around to 115.
gotcha. I'll keep going until then. All right, Aldana feigning that uppercut. Not looks like she's doing anything with it. Nunes didn't bite on that. Looks like they both jabbed each other at the same time. Yeah, Nunes going back to that front kick with the rear leg. Like she's really targeting that kick. Nunes again with that kick.
Probably not a bad move.
And she went with the inside leg kick too. Followed back up with that kick to the body. Nunes seemed content to just really keep her back and like forcing Aldana to try to come to her for anything. Oh, spin kick by Nunes misses. Follows up with a spinning back fist. Misses on that as well. Aldana didn't capitalize on the opening. Yeah, Aldana looks very hesitant right now. Even, what she is throwing looks really half-hearted, not really committing to too many strikes. I'm at 145 now.
Cool. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there.
More sort of posturing in the center of the cage. Nunes going for that body jab again. 130. 120. And Nunes stepping in a little bit. Don't back to that body kick.
All right.
110.
All right.
Oh, Nunes
Nice.
stepping in with. Oh, wow. Aldana catches her with a right hand counter. Stumbles Nunes a little bit.
Yep. Front kick by Nunes. Another one. Doesn't really come up short. Come up short. 53, 52,
Yep.
51 is where I'm at. Okay.
Yep. We're exact now.
I know my guy Ghost Phantom was saying that Nunes got her reacting to the body, which is good for Nunes. Definitely a good tactic there. Uh, Kicking against Aldana is definitely not a bad choice for sure. So that's some good prep. She's not in southpaw tonight. She's in back in her orthodox stance. It looks like she's been in that stance all night so far. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, hasn't switched
Okay.
stances.
Wow. All right.
Noticing too on some of those front kicks, Aldana is sort of trying to parry it away with that rear hand. So wondering if Nunes is going to pick up on that and start throwing left kicks,
Mm,
capitalizing on that opening.
yeah. Good read.
Oh, Nunes quick right hand comes up a little short there, and the round comes to an end. Not a whole lot of activity from Aldana. She did land that nice right hand, but that was sort of her only bit of consequential offense. The story of that round is all about that front kick to the body from Nunes.
Yep. That's good work for Nunes. It's more in Aldana's court, obviously, how she's going to be able to react from around like that. Can she push through the fire? That's kind of the thing with Nunes. You got to be able to push through that fire. Say what you will about Pena, but Pena's stubbornness and durability really helped her there.
Big time. Yeah, a more measured fighter
Ooh,
than
nice counter
Pena.
right there.
Yeah, it was a
Wow, from
beautiful
Aldana.
counter. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a more measured fighter than Pena will struggle against someone like Nunes, who not only has like that frightening power, but also has a level of measure and calm with her as well.
Yeah, Aldana's gotten much better at finding her right hands and much more confident in her counter punching and punching. But yeah, she's gonna have to find the confidence where she can against someone like Nunes. Round two, here we go, folks. 452, 451, 450. Back to the front kicks.
Yeah,
Really coming up a
Nunes
little
switched,
short.
going back to orthodox after that front kick.
Mm-hmm.
Aldana with that really high
Nice
tight
jab.
guard.
Yeah.
Nunes punched right through it with the jab.
Yeah, that was a nice jab.
And she covered a lot of distance with that one. Like a John Jones style knee stomp from Nunes.
I don't know if Aldana is trying to counter herself now, but yeah, a lot of waiting from her end.
Yeah.
Nunes fakes the single, tries to come up. Nothing doing, as John Anik would say. Front kick to the body.
Right, toes right in on that body too.
Yeah,
Again.
yeah. Good leg kick return.
1-2 from Nunes, followed by the front kick.
Yep, definitely something they drilled.
Oh, knee stomp again from Nunes. Nunes
She
just
like
pretty much.
Jackson winking this fight.
Yeah,
She's
she's. I
got the
mean,
front kicks and the
she's keeping the distance the way she wants it. The knee stomps, the front kicks, the jabs, like all these long range weapons that's just keeping Aldana to the outside. Who with that really high tight guard isn't, especially if she wants to rely on the boxing that sort of got her
right.
here. It's not going to be able to do much in the range that she's being kept in.
You got to give credit where credit's due. And man, I mean, fighters late in their careers to learn new tricks or switch stances is really not unheard of, but it's really hard, folks. You don't understand that. And for a fighter
Hmm.
that's like flirting with retirement, you're expecting them to have a foot out the door, not bringing new tricks fight after fight at the very end of their career, waiting to do that,
Right,
right?
big
Like
time.
that's impressive.
And
Got
you
to give
think about
credit
the
there.
the big sort of life changes that she's had too, as of late.
Yeah,
Baby in the house, and on top of that, leaving her longtime home of American Top Team to form her own sort of patched together camp. It's a lot of change, and this far into your career, you're talking about retirement. It's not the time when people tend to learn new things. And she is so
absolutely isn't the
dedicated to
time.
that
Yeah,
front kick.
I wonder if she's gonna build off of it, go up high.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if Aldana starts making a habit of dropping one of her hands to sort of parry it away, I think
Mhm.
that's when the head kicks open up.
Her legs getting beat up now really bad.
Yeah.
Aldana's got to come forward and kind of s her get off the pot here, and she knows that. Starts
Oh,
exchanging more, but
knee up
Nunez
the
answers with
middle.
a knee. Yeah,
Yeah, you
Nunez
see.
meets that challenge.
Yeah, Aldana sort of wiped her nose as that happened, so that one landed square.
Shouldn't be surprised by the odds, and even by people who may have picked the underdog. Um, yeah, this looks like it's going to be a long night for Aldana if she doesn't change something quick.
Yeah.
A long and painful night.
Yeah,
Nunez
it's
eyes
yeah,
open, looking sharp.
she seems so hesitant to really open up, and understandable. I mean, you've got Amanda Nunes who hits like a dump truck and standing in front of you while she's absorbing all these long range weapons and forcing her to stay to the outside and not be as effective with her hands. Like, I'm loving how Nunes is following up with so much. Like, she lunges in with a strike, and then as Aldana is trying to circle away, she's throwing a winging shot right behind it, catching her on the way out.
Yeah, she seems to have a really good feel for the distance at this point of the fight, or at least a better feel of it, more confident.
Mm-hmm.
Tries to reach around the guard there with the right hand. 25 seconds left, roughly. Ooh, nice uppercut hook from Nunez.
Yeah, nice
Aldana
combination.
goes high,
Oh,
misses, and
misses
takedown.
that. Nice takedown from Nunes. Nunes not really interested in taking advantage of any sort of her extensive history as a judo and black belt, a judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt. She just wanted to get right back
Yeah,
up.
most people
Back,
picking Nunez was expecting a ground fight from her tonight, and I don't blame them, by the way. So just to show that it goes to show.
yeah, it's like she's trying to beat Aldana at her own game tonight. She's been
Yeah,
setting up those kicks, and the hands have been opening up more and more.
yeah. Aldana acknowledged her leg to her corner to put ice on it. She's definitely going to have to get going uh, if she wants to keep her mind off that pain and give herself a chance to win. You got someone mentioned in the chat, Diego Lopez. Of course, he recently had a fight with Movsar Evloev, fight of the night. It's her jiu-jitsu coach, her and Alexa Grasso's jiu-jitsu coach. One of the coaches in ring right now. Ghost Phantom
Let's see
says,
if. Oh,
I saw a good right hand from Aldana. She faked a right hand and threw a long jab. She keep up the volume. It could get interesting. Yeah, she's going to have to step it up, though.
yeah. Yeah, it's like she can't wait for that perfect opportunity. It's like she's got to force the issue.
Mm-hmm. All right. Round three is in. 453, 452, 451. More front kicks from Nunes.
Now she's starting to fake that front kick. Let's see what she does
Yep.
with the feints. Oh, charging in with the punches. Aldana not answering back at all.
Yep.
She's starting trying to parry that front kick again.
I don't know what ideas her corner is giving her, but have to see what she tries to implement here soon.
Yeah, because what's going on now is not gonna do it at all.
No, not looking good at all. You know, ooh, no, with an air there. Nunes almost just playing around at this point.
Yeah, switching stances without any real threat coming back her way. Feigning on the shot.
Yeah, she's definitely feeling herself at this point of the fight as she should. I mean, with what she's been doing and been given, sticking, looking to counter when she can, but Aldana not really giving her much. So it's just a little bit of a lower action affair from that end. Nunes still sticking, but Aldana not really biting or giving her anything.
Yeah, she's just kind of shelled up and moving forward, but not really doing anything with that forward motion. Oh wow, takedown from Nunes, but Aldana back up,
Yep.
and Nunes dragging her right back down after a slight
Getting the
struggle on
second
the
one.
fence.
Passes over to half guard. Good shoulder pressure from Nunes, looking to lock her up there.
Uh,
This is where Nunes bettors are getting excited. Most people I saw are on Nunes by submission, so yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are really excited right now of that potential. But Aldana really, underrated on the ground. Really good scrambling. Uh, Improved first layer defense, but you saw Nunes have to do the second or third attempt there, which was good on
mhm.
her. Aldana trying to do foot on the hips, little side scissor guard.
Yeah, it looks like Nunes is trying to find a way to side control.
Mm-hmm.
And Nunes,
I don't think we've seen any. Looking to handcuff there, cross wrist ride, maybe pin an arm. Aldana doesn't let her get it, sits up,
elbow comes down.
gets her guard back, maybe going back to her base now.
Oh, she's got the neck. Let's see if she can do something with that. And
Chain from
wow,
Nunes.
let's headlock to another takedown.
Oh, elbow, knee. Watch the up kicks here.
Nunes not giving her a moment of space,
Yeah,
all
really
over her
making
as she tries to get up.
really making her work. Oh, looks
Oh,
to get her
trip
back.
takedown. She's going for the back.
Crucial scrambles here. Let's see if Nunes can keep it
Yeah, she looks like she's
or if
trying to
she's getting
peel
a
that
bit
arm
high.
away. Yeah, she's kind of losing that position. Looks like if Aldana can make herself a
Mm-hmm.
little slippery here, she should
Yep.
be able to escape. But
Nunes about to try for the
Nunes just let
armbar
go of the
instead.
hook. But her leg is fully extended now, in an awkward position.
Aldana needs to take
Aldana on
advantage of this
top
position.
now.
Almost lets her up. Wow.
Yeah, let her right back up.
I'll take that one, Aldana. That's probably jeez.
Wow. Okay.
Believe it or not, folks, I don't often pick against the goats. It's just when I do, I look extra dumb. I don't just lose. It's usually they come out and have with me. I mean, realistically, you could have a good performance against people like Jones or Nunes and still lose, but that is on par for the course here. So I almost feel like I owe Aldana an apology. This is weird, but no, Nunes looking good, and let's see if she can keep up the pace. Interesting to note though, Ant, as good as she's looking, we've seen her cruise, like you said, right? You were
hmm
mentioning her run. in that run, she's had lapses in the 4 rounds. Almost got swept and submitted by Doreen Durandamy, as well as Juliana Pena, but might not hit the fourth round. Geez, they are swinging hard
Oh
to close
wow,
the
they are.
third.
And Nunes coming up nearly 100% for every strike attempt in that last
Yeah.
exchange.
I wonder what her cardio is going to be like, though. That was a lot of energy from Nunes as well. Obviously, she is on the better end of it. But
Which always makes the energy expenditure a little bit easier.
But again, when y'all's got to worry when somebody gets close to a finish, like if I bet someone to get a round 3 finish or whatever, and they almost get finished in the first round, I'm actually happy, Ant, because I'm like, if my guy survives, that's a huge adrenaline dump when you go all out thinking you're going to get a finish like that, and it's hard to recover from. You can. Sometimes it might take like a round or a half a round, or sometimes you could fall off. Right? You could
All right.
if your opponent decides to pick up the proverbial pack when you put it down, and that's a pacing war, right? You pick up a heavy pack on your back and you run as fast as you can. I'm sure you've
Mm-hmm.
done something like that before. You
Yep.
only can run so far, right? And you know that feeling when you hit your limit. Okay, time to put it down. You take the breath, right. Or
Right.
you're doing a burnout on the bag and you take that breath, right? You are so weak at that breath. If your opponent picks up at that point, they can get massive gains. That's what I mean by picking up the pack. So we'll see. It's still not too late. This is MMA, but Aldana's going to need some Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman 2 type stuff to get out from the GOAT. Amanda looking good so far.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I don't think Amanda is even close to slowing down. Right, she's kind of fought this
Yeah, she
at
looks
at
great.
the sort of perfect pace for her. Like she hasn't had a lot
Yeah,
of resistance to kind of do what she wants.
true.
She's picking her
Yep.
shots. She's not just going random flurries. Even the ground exchanges where it looked like she could have gotten the finish, she didn't sell out for it. Um, so this is sort of the best case scenario for this level of dominance without that
Yeah,
adrenaline dump.
that is true. Those were really nice pace first 2 rounds for sure.
Yeah. And then
Just
also
curious what.
we got to factor in the body kicks too. Like what's that doing
Mm-hmm.
to Aldana's cardio? So, you've taken 20 something at least kicks to right up the middle. It's going to interrupt your breathing. Like you're not going to be 100% after that.
Yep. The
So
leg
even if
work.
she
Ooh,
does
nice right
tire,
hand.
wow, Aldana is
More
eating
leg
all these
work.
shots.
Jeez, Nunez laying it on. She's looking for the finish, folks.
Yeah, she's hunting her. She's hunting her down now. Jab over the top. Jab through the middle now.
It's a really impressive performance from Nunez. Nice jab. I
Another
don't know if Donna's
jab.
awake yet, but she should be.
Yeah, time to wake
But
up,
yeah,
please.
the leg work and the body work, though, you're right. I mean, that just only adds to the hesitancy
Yeah, so not only
and
do you have
ability
that,
to act.
yeah, the mental and sort of emotional frustration you'd experience with someone keeping you to the outside, but you're being physically impaired from making the necessary athletic moves to close that distance and change the course of the fight.
Yeah, Amanda does not look to be have slowed down at all either. So it was a really good pace management from her. Those early rounds, looks like she's still got a good amount in the tank. Goes for a takedown. No dice, knee to the body, but a punch from Nunez, 2 on the break.
Oh, yeah, nice uppercut she snuck in there as that
Yeah,
clinch
the
broke up.
uppercut. Yep, yeah.
Nice jab, laser jab. And Aldana is stuck to that same high tight guard. It's almost like she's really waiting for that perfect shot, and it's just not presenting itself.
Shot from Nunez gets her down. Donna tries
Yeah,
another
Nunes is
upkick.
gonna let
Gets
her
back to
back
her
up
feet.
again. Looks like.
Tries to get right back on her. Looks like that was something they drilled back up for the up kicks and then re-engage when she tries to get up. That was
No,
something that was drilled into the Nunez camp. Smart.
no.
Tries to go for another takedown. Limp legs out. That was nice. Well, definitely
Mm.
Aldana drilled a lot of counter grappling. That's for dang sure. It's just the offense
Yeah,
and obviously defense. But yeah, just the striking in general. All Nunez folks through 4.
you don't see like sort of a smile on Nunes' face right now. She's genuinely having fun at this moment. This is like she's really
It's
enjoying this
terrifying to see
moment.
her smiling in there like that at you. Must
Yeah.
be terrifying.
Oh, wow, that right hand. Good Lord.
Ooh, ooh. Nice left
Oh,
from
my
right from
God.
Aldana.
Another
Uppercut.
series of right
Nice
hands.
knee. Nice knee from
Knee up the
Nunes.
middle, right to Adonis' chin.
Yeah, whenever Aldana gets aggressive, Amanda throws those knees. Aldana whiffs. Almost like a checking elbow from Nunes. That was cool.
Hmm.
He's going with that elbow again.
Yeah, it's almost like she's going for like a Filipino style block, like a destruction block.
Oh my
Like
guy
she's
James. Sorry, Dan. Not a fan of. Yeah, she is. It's like a block and like an up elbow bonus at the same time. Oh, nice uppercut hook to the head.
that was a nice. Oh wow, that right hand again. Nunes with another right hand on the clinch break.
Big round four for Nunes. Look at that.
Yeah, I know we're not scoring this necessarily, but this feels very 10-8-ish to me.
10-8. Yeah, I'll agree. And I'm the guy saying look out for Nunes maybe to have a lapse in round four. And despite having the work to show for it, and of course, not just being wrong on something that I could obviously be wrong about, not enough. Got to look wrong on all angles here. Not only was I wrong, but like her round four is like statistically her best round after I say that. Of course, right?
Hey,
Of
you go
course,
big or
of
go home,
course.
man. That's
So
what you do.
it is. But
Win
man,
big,
you got
lose
to give.
big. It's beautiful.
Hey, that being said, with the bias in tow, I absolutely agree with you, Ant. I would give that a 10-8 round, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're listening. We're not scoring, folks. Feel free to put your scores in the chat. Obviously, it's all Nunes from round four. I don't think anybody's arguing that. But to Ant's point, yeah, I think there's a good point for a 10-8 there.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything to tell me otherwise. Aldana
Yeah,
offered
yeah.
literally nothing that round that would stop or stifle anything that Nunes was doing, and she looked close to being finished several times in that. This is about the moment where we start praising her toughness.
Oof.
That this is hit that moment like wow, this fighter's so tough, and code for wow, this fighter's taking a beating.
Yeah,
Yeah, and this is one of those moments where what's the purpose of this final round? Like if Aldana doesn't come out there like a bat out of hell, why are we doing this?
right.
A towel needs to be thrown because this is now crossing that line toward lunacy.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's any of those narratives going on in the broadcast or otherwise, folks. We're not listening to those, but yeah, we're just going off what we see here. This is just domination.
Yeah.
This was always a possibility, obviously, but yeah, it's another level when you see these things from when Nunes is on like this. Oh, nice body knee. And Nunes still going for the takedown and gets it. Fortunate. That was a really good body knee, too. That was probably one
Yep,
of
that
Aldana's
was.
quietly her best strikes of the fight. A lot
Yeah.
of people credit the body work much. That was a really good one. Oh, almost got an illegal up kick. Say at this point.
Oh,
But
dangerous.
hey, you're already losing. You're already
Yeah, might
losing.
as well. Yeah. I mean, they're
They're almost
giving
saying
away
it.
fouls if the prior refereeing has been any indication of this event. So
Absolutely, yeah. They're not wanting to upset these loud crowds, and it's almost like I wonder if that applies with the refs since now they're not getting as many high level reps in front of crowds with the UFC. Maybe they get in front of these big crowds and they feel that angst and maybe that pressure more of taking points away, like we saw earlier in the night.
yeah, good lord. Like I mean, Aldana she's got two fouls to give right now, so might as well go for him. Maybe it turns the tide. If you're there, might as well. Nunez got her pushed up against the fence. It's a bad place to be if you're Aldana.
Yeah, that takedown was super crucial for her to get, and she is making hay with it now.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Aldana just with no space up against that fence. She's trying to shift her hips, can't really go anywhere.
forearm pressure by Nunes on top. just looking to smash her against the fence. Don't blame her, to be honest. Like, you've done almost everything to try to get this girl out of there, right? You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, and I feel you, James Kendrick, in the chat. You know, I'm trying to stay, professional and whatnot, but yeah, it's a bit. It could be a bit begrudging, sir. And also, Ghost Phantom, you are correct. That cage cutting was really tough. A lack of cage cutting from Aldana was really tough to watch. Those are great notes there.
I mean, really, this performance from Aldana has been tough to watch. Like
It has been, yeah,
she's
really, yeah.
offered really next to nothing for Nunes to be concerned with.
And it's unfortunate, with the COVID era. It was one of those situations where Holly, not only did she look at her worst, but Holly looked at her best.
Mm-hmm.
She had an early fight that was, way out of her depth. It was like her first pro fight. She went down to Brazil to fight Larissa Pacheco in jungle fights, and those were her title fights. And this, and those are all top female names of 145 to 135, right?
Uh-huh.
Pacheco just beat Kayla, Holm, and Nunes, obviously. So it's like no shame in these losses, but I think she was sick and then she was also sick for her title fight against, what do you call it, an Invicta against, what's her name? Tanya Evinger,
Mm-hmm.
where she lost in the fourth round. So she's had like her worst performances when she gets to these spots, and then we'll have like really good performances in between. So it's just one of those things with Aldana. I picked her against Holm and looked dumb, and ran the risk of not just looking dumb, but looking dumber here. And mission accomplished. Dan Tom. Full mount for Nunes. 1 minute to go, folks.
Oh, yeah. Nunes just kind of peppering her with shots at this point.
Dun, dun, dun. Makatsu Kyogoku. That was not a good fight. James Don. I'm surprised how many had Aldana. Really, I feel like I was on an island. I didn't see that many out there, but I don't know. I don't really take too much solace in that. I don't take solace in other people losing. I want everybody to win, but that's interesting to know. Nunes back to full mount, looking to finish the last 25 seconds here on top.
It was like she's trying to trap an arm too, but
Yep.
Aldana using it, trying to push off the hips back to half guard. Oh, body shots from the top. That is particularly brutal. Hammer fist to
Dominant.
finish it out.
Yep. All right, that's a wrap on that one,
Yeah,
folks.
I don't think the judges will have a tough time figuring this one out. It's really just a matter of how many 10-8s are we scoring.
Yeah, I have at least two. I think two at the end there, rounds 4 and 5 for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one for Nunes. James Don said I had Teofimo too. I don't even know what happened in that fight, and I don't really follow. But I'm hoping that means you are on the right side, James. Good on you. Hopefully, you had a good night, sir. Thank you for joining us, folks. Make sure to hit the likes. We're not getting out of here yet. We're going to stick around for the post fight, a little bit of chat before we get out of here. But yeah, if you want to just make sure you hit the likes, subscribe if you want to join in on the conversations and get any words on the way out here. Yeah, we're on bad delay. I know we're still sticking it out for the co-main and thoughts for whoever's curious. And also, again, this goes on my podcast feeds after, which is why we will give times throughout these for people that want to might listen after the fact. I know it's a really small minority crowd there. I'm a weirdo and I don't even do that, but I throw it up there in case you want to do it. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the fights. I know the post fight and everything wrapped. Probably not much here to get from it, to be honest. I don't know about you, Ant. As you can tell from my chat, they're not the biggest. Some are not the biggest Nunes fans in there, and that's okay. It's nothing like malicious or anything. Like for me, like I don't deny her skill set despite the division she competes in. Not the strongest. You can't deny her skill set. Love her family angle, all that stuff. You know me. It's all friendly here for that. Sometimes you're just not the biggest fan, and that's me. But what I will say, and kind of come out of the third character, there is not a post-fight interview I kind of can't stand more than Amanda Nunes post-fight interviews. So yeah, I'm sorry. Does that make me a bad person? I feel free to
No,
say
no.
so.
I
I
mean,
respect you.
I'm definitely a fan of Amanda Nunes. I have been for
Okay.
quite some time.
All
I don't
righty.
her post fight interviews don't particularly stand out to me in one way or
Right.
another. But I do think she at least appears to be
Everybody's
one
like,
of
please,
the.
Amanda, please get in the. She's already holding up the show and hasn't even had the interview. Like, there's a whole crowd of people just pointing the Amanda, just please go to the. By the way, shouts to Nina Ansaroff, right? She's about to have her third kid because let's face it, folks, Amanda Nunes is one of Nina's kids. Let's be honest here. I love them. I love them. I'm not hating. I love them, by the way. But let's be real. Amanda Nunes is one of Nina's kids. I mean, props off to that lady. I mean, Nina's juggling these days. Jesus.
Yeah, I think we're. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing Nina fight anytime soon with the
Yeah.
baby factory they got going on over there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm sure Amanda will be saying Amanda things and stuff. If you guys want to add to anything that we're missing, I'll turn it up a little bit here on my end in case we get any retirement. Although that does not look like a fighter that's wants to retire to me. Who knows though?
Yeah. Oh, whoa! She's asking for sisters to cut the
Oh
gloves. I
wow.
think we got a retirement. Yep, yep. She is retiring.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, she's looking for scissors. I think it's gonna. Okay, well let's get. Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I don't know what she's saying. All right.
Yeah, she wants to retire and live happy forever.
Amanda retired. All right.
Mm.
So that's what's this going.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
See, there's definitely some jokes I want to get off on Twitter right now about this retirement, but I know the gifts are
Oh
going to
my
be
gosh.
hating.
You can do it. You can break away if you got a good idea.
Oh, so,
Something's coming to you.
oh no, it's there in my mind. I type it out real quick, but I just don't think the GIF is going to go through on Twitter.
Uh, get it just right. Jesus, what is she gonna do? Burn the belts after this? She's saying goodbye to it, huh?
Yeah,
You know you get to take that with
yeah,
you.
like that
You don't
you
have to
own
leave
that belt,
that.
right? Yeah.
You, I think people are booing. Like, get on with it. I'm sure they're cheering, but it's all right. Retiring. Let's get this party started. Crack one open, Mark. Not for me though. It's now we can disband 125, 135, and 145. Jesus Christ, Ghost. Brutal. All right, wow. Well, any thoughts on that, man? She just retired, Dan. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't look like a fighter like that as on the way out, but retiring on top like that, you can't hate that, man.
no, not at all. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal. It's either this or Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this interview is still going on though.
I'm not. Again, Amanda Nunes interviews are a special thing. I mean, if there was one thing to just make UFC 200, I'm like, again, I love I'm not trying I'm definitely not like trying to be a WMA hater, not a definitely not an LGBTQ hater or plus hater or anything like that. But I remember like, okay, we're gonna end with Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes for UFC 200 after we've just had Silva, Jose Aldo, Brock Lesnar, all the. But I'm like, okay, and then just that seeing my girl Misha get beat, and then having to just sit through a 25-minute Amanda Nunes post-fight interview for whatever comes on at the top of her mind was something. It was an energy to leave off on.
Well, I'd say because you were talking about kind of dreading the Nunes interview, and I just was like, nothing really stood out to me. But I'm thinking like, okay, the moments that I was in the building for post fight
Okay.
interviews, or it's like when she knocked out Cyborg and when she knocked out Holly Holm, and those are like such big
Oh
moments.
wow.
It's
Yeah,
like just kind of
those are
caught
huge ones.
caught in
Yes,
that moment.
absolutely.
So I
Yeah,
probably didn't realize that
for
there was
sure.
like an hour long diatribe afterward. But
It's
this
always like
is,
this with her. She just
I mean, this is like serious Wally Ismail vibes right here.
well, and it's like what's that word? Something streaming consciousness. Like she has her own streaming
Yeah.
consciousness. She just goes, you know. I feel like you could have an I think you should leave skit, like where the skit just doesn't end. Or something.
Like
It just goes in a complete different direction. Like it just has its own story and goes off and tells its own story and comes back all the way around. Like, and I think you should leave skit in that sense.
so like the next time the UFC comes back to Rogers Arena, like she's still giving this post fight speech.
Yeah, yeah. Shit. Who's that dude?
For a second I thought it was DJ. It's like,
Yeah, it's like DJ and like Wilson Hayes had a kid.
yeah, that's
It's like, geez. Wow. All right. What an event. Thank you for doing this with me, Ant. And folks, you have any takeaways from the event? Of course, my highlight, of course, was Duke Bronx there. But how do you not celebrate? Just that's a big deal, folks. Whether you cut it or not, whether for Nunes, and that's how we end. It's another losing night here. I'm not looking forward to facing the music with the haters. But that's what it's going to be, and you know that again, the losing night, no matter how you cut it, I count for it no matter what. But I'll tell you, Ant, there are very few times where you pick against. I remember my co-host Gordon George and goes talking about UFC 100, where they took a shot on Thiago Alves to beat George St. Pierre, and we're talking about that's probably one of the dumbest bets of all the times you feel dumb placing a bet, which is most times for most people, for being honest, because you bet against the GOAT, and
yeah.
they're talking about sitting there because they had tickets to UFC 100, sitting there going, did we really bet against this guy? Wow. And I hate those moments, and I've gotten two this year. And, it doesn't matter because, Aldana could have won, and people would have been like, oh, you're just picking the GOATs to be the upset guy. So you're not going to please people either way. But boy, do I feel dumb sitting here picking against the GOAT. So I got to give props to Nunes. I also got to give props to McMaynard, even though I don't want to for the opener, the middleweight. I'll take my medicine, folks. I talk my shit, even though I can say that I'm right 9 times out of the 10. I seem to be wrong when it counts. So that's what matters, man. So I'm going to take my medicine. Props to Barrio and Andrews in the open. Props to Maynard for putting that on there. Props to Nunes, begrudgingly for some of those. But I got to give credit where it's due, man, and be happy when people put on performances, and that's what you had tonight. We talked about the quality of the card on paper, but people came out and put on performances. Some better than others, but they did show out for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard to. I mean, retirement was something that we talked about. Just as Nunes was walking out, as the introductions were being made, we're talking about, okay, where's her head at? But she did this the right way. She did this the right way. Her final
Yeah.
fight. I mean, if let's assume that this is a real retirement and not an MMA retirement, right?
Right. Yeah.
If this is a real retirement, she did exactly what she was supposed to do. She came in, she wrecked shop, and she went out on top. She looked so fresh in this performance, like did not gas at all. 5 rounds of just sustained beat down.
Mm-hmm.
And someone who looks fresh enough to scare the rest of the division still, and to retire like that. That's the way you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't. I'm almost. Not almost. I am rooting for her to stay retired because of that fact, right? Like you want to
Right.
see people do it the right way. And the only match that I would want her to see her come back for is the only match I was bummed we didn't get. And not only did we not get it, we didn't get it immediately where we should have gotten it. I don't know how you feel about this, Ant, but just the last thing I'll say is I really wish we did. Great career, not trying to take anything away. Obviously, go down as the head-to-heads for the GOATs amongst her contemporaries. But I wanted to see a Cyborg rematch, man. I really wanted to see
Of
that.
course.
I won't get into it for the obvious reasons and the politics that we probably won't see it, especially now. But I always wanted to see that immediate rematch.
Yeah, I definitely think that we got cheated out of that one. That's one that should have been made. And there was really no reason to not make it other than, okay, we don't want to give Cyborg a contract
Contract. Yep.
that's going to be favorable, that's not going to lock her in forever. Like they just
And
didn't want to do that.
yep. And I talked about that, and I only bring that to not Sully or anything Amanda Nunes crew. If anything, it defends her because I actually think she would have been down if the UFC actually made the right offer, money, and just making the offer in general. But I was talking about Ant when they first opened up. This was right around when that happened. It was right around when they first opened up the Apex, right? And Dana had his new office, and he let the media go on a tour. And like, there's all the typical stuff in Dana's office you would expect, like relics from the '90s and 2001, like Eclipse,
Mm.
a whole bowl of a Polar Ice gum. If you remember Polar Ice gum,
Yeah,
like it was a bunch of random stuff that you would just okay. Do we have new metal playing? This is very Dana White, but he
like a
had a
display of Axe body spray and whatnot. Yeah.
yes, yeah, exactly, very typical. But he had a whole mural wall of the Amanda Nunes with the 2 championship belts after she beat Cyborg, and I'm like, I don't remember Dana being a big Brazilian fan, Amanda Nunes fan, WMA fan, outside of Ronda. That it struck me as weird, right, Ant? Like
Yeah.
we talked about the marketability that they traditionally go for, and here's my theory, and I'll pitch it to you before we get out of here. I basically thought that I was like, oh no, that was negotiations. We know Dana's petty. He keeps tombstones in his office over promotions that he conquers. He is that guy,
Hmm.
and I don't think it was that he was a Nunes fan. I think that he was a Cyborg hater, and that was his tool to say, "F you, we got the best. We just proved it," and that was like his victory lap, you know. So I don't know.
I
I'm just throwing that out there.
that's not far fetched. I do think that that's definitely a factor, but I have to say Nunez earned a lot of those kudos from
Oh, sure,
everyone
sure,
in the UFC,
yeah,
and she earned it the hard way. You think back to when she fought um, Ronda Rousey at what was that? Was that UFC 208 or 209 or whatever it was?
207, yeah, yep,
The
yeah.
207. Okay. The going narrative into that was the return of Ronda Rousey. They
Hmm.
featured her on all the commercials. They like Nunes was
Yep.
barely mentioned. Nunes was the champion, and they barely mentioned her. First of all, like before we even get to that point, like this is the person who main evented UFC 200 as you talked about before, and
Yeah.
after all the chaos and confusion that the original main event provided, and DC fighting Anderson Silva and all this
Silva,
changes,
right, yeah.
and they failed to make Connor versus Nate for that main event, that their rematch. They failed to do that, so it was just all this rigmarole about that, and Amanda Nunes ended up going out there and absolutely annihilating one of the promotional darlings. Like
Yep.
just absolutely railroaded her. Then she goes from that to crush Ronda Rousey, and this is when the new ownership thought literally nothing of Amanda Nunes, thought
Yeah.
absolutely nothing of her, didn't think enough of her to put her in a damn commercial. To where I don't know if you heard the story. I think Rogan said this on his podcast at some point, that backstage the Endeavor executives, that this was like their first, one of their first big events that
Yeah, I
they
remember
actually
that.
attended,
Yes. Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
like talking about, oh, when Ronda gets the
Yep.
belt back, what they're gonna do, and all
Yeah.
the they're so hyped that it's like a foregone conclusion that Rousey is gonna get that belt back, and she forced the issue by absolutely annihilating her. Then you have the chaos and confusion around UFC 232, which I was there for, how the fight went from Vegas
Yeah,
to
that's
LA,
right.
and
That's
the
right.
controversy
That
around
was
that main
crazy.
event, and it was and that happening in that building was particularly interesting at the forum in Inglewood, because Cyborg is a staple of Southern California. Like she is loved in the greater Los Angeles area. So to have the crowd there for this sort of late notice UFC event, so they're excited about that. They're excited to see John Jones return. They're excited to see really the best fight that could have been made in women's mixed martial arts there. And then Nunes does that in that moment with that crowd. That crowd was electric for that. So I think after all of that happened, Dana has no choice but to be
True.
a
No,
Nunes
absolutely.
fan.
I agree. I
And
agree. No,
then
she absolutely
uh,
deserved that.
yeah, like you have no choice. So then you were like, man, and then she did it to someone that he has a historic level of hatred for in
Yeah.
Chris Cyborg.
Yeah.
Then it's a
Yeah.
cherry on the top right there. So
Yep.
we're gonna
Yeah.
mural the hell out of this. Now she's everything. Now we're gonna proclaim that she's everything that we should have proclaimed her to be before.
Yeah, no,
when she
I
was the
don't
champ
disagree. And
originally,
that
you
was
know.
huge. I had to go, like I said, I had to rank her finishes, and easily number one for me was her beating Cyborg. That's just such a huge moment in women's martial arts right there. It's just such a huge moment. It's undeniable. Yeah, I always forget that that was a part of that whole crazy shit show where the commission was, or the one time the commission does stand up to
Yeah.
UFC, you almost wonder if there was some business dealings there. That was a business move, a statement to the UFC there. But yeah, they had to jump ship and go go to California and the next date over. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it saved me
That's nuts.
some money for like food while I was in Vegas because I didn't have to go to Vegas anymore. So that was sweet. But yeah, I think Nunes forced that issue, and she by proxy she sort of forced herself to be a darling to the general fan base because until that Cyborg moment, nobody was really on the Nunes train. Even after destroying Ronda, then it was like, oh, well, after destroying Ronda, well, Ronda was gone for all this time, and she was acting weird leading up to the fight. So it was these built-in narratives to sort of discredit what Nunes had done until the Cyborg moment, and then it was like, oh wow, like she's really that great. And then you
Yep,
look
yep,
back, and as I said before, like it's an iteration of the women's mixed martial arts Mount Rushmore, and it's like, oh, Nunes is like beat everybody on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and it's hard to argue head to head stuff. I'm a big legacy, history, context guy, but it's hard to argue head to heads when you're having these conversations. I'm going to do a chat cleanup before we get out of here, Ant. Just say what's up. Mark Fellow says, I was at UFC 200. I was so drunk, I had no idea Nunez even did an interview, thankfully. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I may or may not I had a lot of beers, and I also may or may not have had an adult candy before I went. And I don't usually have trouble with heights, Ant, but like T-Mobile, like
It's like slopes up. It's like, yeah, it's like
yeah, I
straight
sat
up.
up in the
Yeah.
bleachers too, and I remember just leaning forward, grabbing the escalator rail like for dear life, going, "I must look like a weirdo right now," because I'm having trouble with this height and this whole thing. And then I remember sitting at a certain point, thinking I was going to fall forward into the stadium. It was quite amazing. But I got to see some Jim Miller, some Takanori Gomi, got to see Gegard, Anderson Silva, Brock. Like that was now I just want to go to UFC 300 just to see Jim Miller, who will be like the only veteran that the UFC still has signed by that point.
I,
It'll be
I
all
think Brock
contender series
let's
by the roster at that point.
Brock needs to come back for 300 too. Let's make it happen. This
Yeah, just
Brock and
let him
Jim
roid.
Miller. Yeah, let's. I mean,
Yep.
hey, they're the same company now. It should be
Why
easy to
not?
make, right? Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Makatsuka Goku, hey, that stat about 34 and above fighters, 2 and 23 in title fights remains true since Aldana is 35. That is, man, and it is a stat that I should really be giving more credit to. I always talk crap on. Usually, it's the MMA gamblers that'll flash that, because they love fading the nothing. MMA gamblers love more than fading old fighters. They get like hard in their pants if they see. They're like, "What? An older fighter is fighting? Like, how do I fade this motherfucker?" But there's some in their defense, though. I mean, there's that stat. Great shout there, Makato Kaigo. Great shout. Um, Ghost Phantom takeaway. Charles Oliveira is cool. Amanda Nunes main events are bad. That's his words, not mine, folks. And UFC matchmakers are lazy. Well, his words, not mine, but he doesn't know me. But this stream is great. Thank you for that,
Thank
Ghost
you
Phantom.
so
I
much.
appreciate the positivity at the end. Makes it all worthwhile. Synchro Wing, I'm not sure what he's responding to, but he says, Dan, that's too reasonable. The UFC don't do reasonable things, allowing for Frankie Edgar versus Dominic
Man,
Cruz. They somehow
what
could
a
not find that fight.
like
Somehow they
wow,
couldn't make
what a
it
missed
happen.
opportunity. That it was way too obvious. Like, god damn it, that should have happened. But
Dan, Frankie Edgar was a featherweight in 2015. I know this, but that's how obvious this fight was. Just the point. It was obvious he was headed there. Um, JL, what the F was Aldana doing? Yeah, that was rough scenes for Aldana fans there. But yeah, I'll probably do a more proper recap as on the next episode for next week, whatever the fights are. I don't even know who's fighting next week. I have such tunnel vision, and I had so much content to get through this week, folks. But I appreciate Ant being here. Ant, you're always welcome for the next one. And although I don't blame you, if you ever feel like sitting out on any of these, especially of this quality, but you definitely bring a great presence to the broadcast, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate the invite as always. It sometimes it would be easier to sit out, but then I think like I'd be missing out on some good conversation. Like this is motivation to watch a fight that otherwise would have really flown under the radar, under my radar. And quite frankly, I was not excited about turning on the TV to watch almost any of this card up until we got to the co-main. Like I was just genuinely not excited. Well, I guess the Ige fight, I was looking forward to that too.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that's but having someone that I like and respect to talk about this with makes it exciting. So now I'm like, I've had a good time. I'm gonna I'm gonna write my post fight columns for Ringside Intel. Now I've got this positive energy and this conversation, the ideas bouncing back and forth, and just brain building with one of my favorite minds of this in the sport. I love it, man.
I love it too, man. I appreciate that. By the way, she was excited, but she passed out. My girl says hi, and also Ken Hathaway from MMA Junkie, my video guy,
Oh,
may wanted me to
Ken.
tell you. I'll say, but we want me to tell you. He said hi, so
Oh,
uh,
Ken, I love Ken. I
me
gotta,
too.
I just gotta give him a call or something, man. I miss Ken.
Give
And
him,
you
hey,
tell your
give him.
girlfriend I
Actually,
said
he'd
it as well.
appreciate that. I will. I
Oh
will.
yeah.
He'd actually
I,
appreciate that. He invited me over, peel behind the curtain. Kenny invited me over for the pay per view tonight. But I was like, and I would have totally would have, but I'm actually getting together with Ant tonight, and I got things going on here anyways. But he wanted to send love to you to you. So
Damn it, yeah, that straight up made my evening. Beyond just us building and how much fun that
nice,
is. Just hearing from Kenny, just that
good
I
man.
love Kenny. When I see Kenny, Kenny, if you watch this, I'm gonna give you a big ass hug when I see you. Love you, man.
It, I got to listen to my own advice here on our way out, Ant, because I get the same way. It's a good reminder. What you're saying really rings true to me because working from home, I'm very lucky to be doing what I'm doing, but I don't get enough social contact. I haven't uh, gotten to the gym enough as much as I would like to lately, in particular. So it's good to have that social contact and stuff, man. And especially when like most of the stuff that I turn on my phone, it's like, who hates me today? All right. It's nice to see the actual cool people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, so I actually have friends in this space. A lot of them, and they're really fucking cool. So thank you, Ant, for being here, man. Thank you, folks, for being here. Make sure you subscribe if you want to join in on any of these. Follow my man Ant Walker at Ant Walker MMA. As you see on his name tag below, I am at Dan Tom MMA. And that's pretty much where you can find whatever we got going on. We don't really got to get too crazy into the plugs, but anything I miss, the stage is yours, Ant.
Okay. Not a whole lot to plug, but I'm doing some writing for Ringside Intel, so go ahead and check out that site. I'll have a column about my personal UFC 289 awards that I'll be writing in just a few minutes here, followed by matchmaking suggestions for the
Nice.
winners of the main card of UFC 289, and whatever else comes to mind, I just might write about it. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. I always love the matchmaking portions of the column. So, curious what you're going to end up with there. What's up, Chronic Combat Conversations? They say great work, gents. Of course, my man MMAI in the house. What's up, friends? Appreciate having you as a friend as well, sir. By the way, I've shouted MMAI out on this program before. Make sure you go follow and subscribe to him for good content as well. And anybody for the bets, I'm sure my guy Chronic Combat Conversations, they did better than me. So go check out what they're packing in their pipes each week. And yeah, until next time, appreciate you guys again. Be sure to hook me up with a like if you haven't already. Not that I deserve it, but I appreciate it. And always protect your neck.